Today I'm going to reinstall the fascia at White Mountain and repair the scenery along the fascia. That's starting right now. Hi, I'm Roy Smith. Last week I told you that I ordered some talus to put at the base of White Mountain. Well, the talus hasn't arrived yet and I can't install it until it does. That also means I haven't been able to plant vegetation at White Mountain, as I was hoping to do this week, because I need to put down the talus first. But I have been busy doing other things in the meantime. I replaced the fascia on the front of the helix, and I repaired the scenery along the edge of the fascia this week. Today I'm going to show you how I did these two things. Now, this is the kind of stuff we do on this channel, so if you like this kind of stuff, I hope you'll go ahead and subscribe and hit that little bell icon to get notified of upcoming videos. Well, back in February, I began to do some important work at White Mountain on my layout. I made the mountain removable. At the same time, I removed the fascia from the front of the helix. I did both of these things to make the helix under the mountain more accessible from above and from the front of the layout, because there's nothing worse on a layout than track that's difficult to access. In other recent videos, you saw me repair the damage I caused to White Mountain when I made it removable. Today, I'm going to reinstall the fascia, and I'm going to repair the damage I caused to the scenery along the fascia. Let's go back to February for just a moment when I removed the fascia. This is what the fascia looked like before I removed it. Right away you can see the problem. Because of the fascia, I couldn't see into or access the helix except from a small trapdoor on one side of the helix or by going under the benchwork. I installed this fascia way back in 2014 when I was just beginning to build my layout and didn't know any better. Now I understand that it's no fun to go under the benchwork to fix a problem in the helix. You have a derailment or cars left in the helix by an unwanted uncoupling, and what do you have to do? You have to go under the benchwork. That's what. And problems like that normally occur most of the time in inaccessible places on a layout, like in helices. So as I said, I removed the fascia back in February, and doing this allowed me to see into and access the helix from the front of the layout. This is what the helix looked like after I removed the fascia. My plan from the get-go was to cut windows in the fascia and then reinstall it. Well, this week I finally got around to doing just that. I cut out the windows and reinstalled the fascia. Actually, I had to replace one of the 3 panels of fascia, this one, because I damaged the original one when removing it in February. But it was easy to cut a new one, including the window in it. Before painting the fascia, I applied spackling paste to the joints of the sections to hide these joints, as you see here. Of course, I sanded the spackling paste before painting the fascia. And here's the fascia, painted. What a difference! I used the same dark gray paint for the fascia that I used in the past. I'm convinced that there is no need to hide helices. You don't even need to install trapdoors or any other such things to hide a helix. Access to the track in a helix is far more important. You need to be able to see a problem when it occurs, and you need to be able to fix it as easily as possible. That's what's important. Okay, now it's time to repair the damage to the scenery that I caused when I removed the fascia back in February. To do this, I decided to use my old, tried and true method for scenery repairs, and that is masking tape and spackling paste. You've seen me use this method in previous videos. I begin by covering the damaged scenery with masking tape. This method works just fine in small areas not requiring much support underneath it. cut off the excess tape along the top edge of the fascia. Then I cover the tape with a layer of spackling paste. You can dip your finger in water to help smooth out the spackling paste, or if the paste begins to stick to your finger. And there it is. I can begin to paint it after the spackling paste has dried. While I'm waiting for the spackling paste to dry, I'm going to do something about this flat area here. I want to fill it with terrain. I'm going to use another tried and true material here, namely white styrofoam, as a scenery base. This area has an unusual crescent shape, so I start by cutting a paper template for it. Then I will take the template outside and use it to mark and cut the white styrofoam that I will use in this area. First, I put down a 1/2 inch thick piece of foam that I've cut to the right shape using the template. But I need just a bit more elevation in the terrain here, so I've cut a piece of 1/4 inch thick foam matching the shape of the first piece. Now I'm gluing the two pieces of foam together. Meanwhile, the spackling paste at the fascia has dried, so I can go ahead and paint it with a base coat of desert yellow. Later on, I will apply washes of Woodland Scenic's earth tone pigments to it, as you have seen me do elsewhere at White Mountain. So back to that white styrofoam. The glue holding the two pieces together has dried, so I can go ahead and cut and shape the foam with a hot wire cutter. This doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a scenery base. I will be covering it with spackling paste later on. Now I've glued the styrofoam down. It's being held in place with foam nails until the glue dries. I will come back to it later on. I've gone ahead and applied a variety of diluted earth tone pigments over here along the fascia. As the last step, I'm now applying a very diluted white pigment. This will lighten up the other pigments that I applied previously. Generally, the terrain in the area I'm modeling is very light colored, so I don't want it to be too dark on my layout. Applying the diluted white pigment will help to lighten it up. Well, I certainly hope my layout looks better now that I've reinstalled the fascia and repaired the scenery along the fascia. I also hope that the windows in the fascia will allow me to see any problems that might occur in the helix and to fix as many of those problems as possible without having to go under the benchwork to get at them. Of course, I still have to paint and ballast the track in this area, but that's something I will do later on. Again, I invite you to subscribe if you're new here. It's absolutely free. Each week I upload a show called Dispatch on Tuesday nights, in which I interact with you. On Saturday mornings, I upload a layout update, and that's what you're watching right now. At this point, I want to give you a little heads up. I'm about to go on vacation for a few weeks, and of course, that vacation includes the big Steamtown get-together in Scranton, Pennsylvania on May 18th. While I'm traveling, I won't be able to upload any episodes of Dispatch, but I will try to preload some train watching videos for Saturday mornings. Hopefully, I will be able to film a lot of stuff while I'm on vacation to share with you when I get back. So, thank you for watching today. Until next time, happy railroading. I'm Roy Smith, and I will see you again very soon.